Happy Sunday. I always like to call this Sunshine Sunday, but oh my gosh, it is not sunshiny out there. It's definitely a spring forward Sunday. Even though that was a couple weeks ago. We're here in spring and we are happily reminded that we live in Western Washington and the rain is here. So I hope that you're snuggly today. I did something for the first time in a week, and please laugh at me. This is kind of funny. I have had my hair up in a ponytail. I've totally got the ponytail kind of person. But today I straightened my hair, and it feels amazing. I feel like I just went to the spa and I did my hair today. So, um, I celebrate that a bit today because I was able to take a me moment and I was able to listen to my podcasts and straighten my hair. So it felt amazing. So I come to you refreshed, ready for a day to be cozy. I have no idea what the forward day looks like. I told Bo that I was already going to spend a lot of time on the computer processing and creating and producing things, as well as watching basketball, duh, and just doing whatever. So we'll see how the day unfolds. I hope the day has already started strong for you as we go into week 2. So here we are. Last week, we really focused on some brain basics, and I hope that you're able to use some of that vocabulary. I hope that you've been able to have some conversation and reflection with your kiddos or with your husband or significant other people in your life, just about some of those basics, because I really truly believe that those basics are un they're missed in our education. They're missed in our growing up. And I think that it's a foundational shift in how we've been able to parent, how we've been able to interact. And this new science, I think, is just really pivotal for us to be able to have a growing understanding of so we can really be our best selves. And so, gosh, I regulate week is the week where I could turn a whole course into, like I've said multiple times, and it's really where I believe that understanding how our nervous system works and how our behavior is communication of how our nervous system is feeling and being and energizing and all of the things. I think that it's just important for us to know that. So please, I encourage you to transfer those skills, excuse me, to as many people as you want. Again, there's a world of great information to apply to you. Now, I also want to validate and share out that I am very excited that I'm working intentionally and personally with you. I've got 3 of your guys' questions back, and I'm working with you individually on goal setting and intentionally applying what we're learning as a whole. And I love that. That's my favorite thing about this, is that I can just give you a quick little overview, which again, I could dive deeper into, and then be able to interact intentionally with you is really what matters most, I think, in your growth. And so let's continue that conversation. And thank you for taking that time and celebrating your strengths and being honest about the things that you want to work through. That is just amazing to me, and I hope it feels great for you. So let's get into our second week here. And this to me is a kind of a sensitive spot. And I say sensitive because relationship is where I have to say it's our first important thing. And each of you are very caring, very loving. There is not a single ounce of question in your own self and in within us that you care a whole bunch about your child or children, because relationship is first, and that's what brought you here. And so what I'm talking about today is something that I want you to, one, validate yourself by the good old patting on your back. You are a great mom. You care deeply about the success of your children. And that kind of creates an emotional response, and that's okay. And I want you just to hear the things that we're just exploring for this week as being boosters, enhancers, those little mind shifts of going, wait a minute, I didn't recognize that cause and effect. I didn't realize that whoopsie daisy that was creating that for my kiddo. So this week, I feel like was the information that we're going to just dabble in a little bit was huge aha to me when I first thought about it, because I know that I'm naturally wired to care sincerely and authentically about the people in my life that matter most to me, or that matter at all, because I care that much, that I didn't realize that I was unintentionally actually creating some of the problem. And I also didn't realize that I may have been continuing the problem by my intense care. So you have to be intentional. And so let's be intentional. That's the kind of the word of the week for when it comes to relate. So with these little mind shifts, let's be intentional. Okay. So your overall goal to this is that we're going to learn how to intentionally strengthen the relationship with your child. And I should say children too. And I want you to notice something here in my background here. I purposely put a marigold because we are companions in our growing up together. We're going to nurture that strengthening. I don't want you to feel at all that you are doing anything to damage your relationship with your child. Just know that we're going to be strengthening it, and every good relationship can be strengthened. So that's what we're going to explore today. And I put this picture here because this was actually a picture we took in January on a sunny day at the beach. And this just brings me happiness, because this to me is the true connection that I want to continue to nurture in my own life. And I hope that you're feeling the same for yourself. So let's go forward. Our objectives for today, I feel like I need to put a fancy little picture there or something, but our objectives for this week are three things here. We're going to be able to identify the relational function to behavior so that you can effectively respond to behavior. We're also going to be able to describe what sincere empathy looks like and sounds like. And I know that there is some baseline understanding that you guys have for when it comes to sincere empathy, especially if you've participated in our Love and Logic stuff. You're going to connect some dots here, but I want to make sure that we're intentionally implying that with our language and energy. So the last response or the last objective we have is that we're going to be able to gain awareness of our energy and how the cause and effect to the behavior. And this is just where I want us to be attuned to our window of tolerance even. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So those are three objectives for our week course. And so let's talk first. And I know my screen here is kind of blocking this out. But the relational functions of behavior, and this comes back to my 4 foundational functions of behavior. And you've heard me talk about this on just the basics here. So it goes into these reflection questions, and these are wired within us. We need these 3 things as human beings, and that's connection, control, and attention. So our brain and our body is communicating and saying, do I feel like I belong? Am I given tasks and language and interactions that make me feel like I'm valued? And that could look like and sound like, are there chores that are being distributed? And that's something I have a challenge with because I'm the swooper in. I like to show my active love language of being supportive by serving. And I have to remember that it's not serving connection and belonging by doing the work for them. So there's me being honest there for a second. But connection is just like, do I feel like I belong? Do I feel that the small moments matter? Like, okay, this is child mindset here. Is my mom so busy that she's not giving me attention because she's busy doing something? And so I feel like I have to do my own thing and I don't feel like I belong in her world. There's that kind of connection, kind of reflection that just happens unintentionally with our behaviors. Now control. This is again where I've kind of talked about if you participated in the boot camp, if you participated in anything that I have shared so far, I've talked about the shared control within limits, and I've talked about choices. But this is more of like, am I able to contribute to my day? So I've noticed that with my child, when we are not giving those low level choices, or we are just like, nope, this is going to happen. Here we go. There is a no. I'm going to try to manipulate. I'm going to try to negotiate because I don't feel like I have control of the situation. And so working with our language of being able to say, this is kind of what's happening. I know that this is out of your control. I would like for you to be adaptable. We start to talk about adaptability. And this is a really big thing because there's a lot of unpredictability in our scheduling in our life right now, because I mean, it has been for the last year. So we've had to do a lot of shifting. And so control, I think, is that center point of where we really need to be able to attune to how much control we're giving to our children and each other, because a lot of control has been taken from us, just basic. And so being mindful about how we have to be adaptable, but how we can also provide opportunity is really where the work, I hate the word work, where the focus really needs to be in making sure that we're providing those meaningful choices, like literally basic things like the sock on first or the sock on first. And developmentally, it could be like, hey, do you want to watch TV on this station or this station? Or do you want eggs with cheese or eggs without cheese? Or like the little things that if you have to make a choice for, they can make a choice for as well. So what you can let your control of a little bit released is important. And I want to engage in maybe more personalized conversations because of age and situation and circumstances when it comes to control. But that is a relational factor that if we as human beings do not feel that we have control of our daily routines in some way, shape, or form, we're not connected. We're not invested. We don't have that buy-in, as you can say. Okay. And we want our kids to have buy-in. We want them to feel connected. We want to make them feel invested in their day and interactions with you, really. So, and then the other one is attention. When I feel like I ask for something, let me say that. When I feel I missed a word there, like I'm asking for something, am I being heard? Let me say that out loud instead of re-script that. I need to rewrite that. But just the sense of when you feel like you ask for something, do you feel like you're being heard? And for your kids as well, when they are asking questions, this is more of that attunement to our energy in response, because sometimes we don't want to answer the question, or sometimes we don't have the answer for the question. And it's hard for us to be like, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that right now. Let me think about it. It's really hard to accept the fact that you don't know what you're going to say yet. So, but if they're asking for, can I do this? And it's a no. Can I do this? And it's a no. Can you do this? And it's no. And once the no's start happening, the lid gets flipped when there's like multiple knowing. Let's just put that. Knowing is kind of where the attention bucket gets drained, where they don't feel like, and that kind of matches with the control, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, there's interrelational to the relational foundations or foundational functions of behavior. So there's definitely some connections here. If you focus on one, the other two buckets really get pulled into that to get filled as well. Happy Sunday. So next, let's go there. Let's talk about sincere empathy. Now, sincere empathy is something to be defined, as you can see here, as a model of just being connected and really caring. And empathy is a skill you're not born with it. You have to be modeled it. You have to be taught it. It's not something that just happens for you. And so I want you to think about sincere empathy when you're experiencing a challenging behavior with your kiddo. The time where you want to lose your cool, where you're just like hot-headed and you're like, I've asked you a million times at this. How can we take the time to have sincere empathy when our emotions and our blood pressure are high? It takes a pause point for us. And I talk about a pause point because a pause point is really important for us to go, okay, I'm realizing that I'm not modeling the behavior that I want to have continue, or I want to have stop. So this is where we have to do a little bit of acting practice and a little bit of practice of modeling it. And so giving sincere empathy is saying things like, I know this is hard for you. I see that this behavior is challenging you. Tell me about how you're feeling right now. Not a good time. Let's talk later. I care about you. And this can be in very intense behaviors. And my friends, I could tell, we could engage in some anecdotal stories where this is hard. Sounds way easy, but it's really challenging. And I want to acknowledge that, but it's so impactful and so important. So we want to be able to, in the situations that are challenging, do our best to have a calm body. Our nonverbals, holy moly, speak louder than our words. And so being aware of our nonverbals, of how our body is important. So our eye contact, our calm body, and being there, not shaming and blaming and saying, oh, you're having a tough time, I can't be around you, peace out, I'm going, or like how you interact when they're having a tough time matters. So it looks like you being together. And if together is like, hey, I see that you need a couple minutes, I'm going to be on the other side of this wall. You're welcome to come join me, or I'll be back in 2 minutes. It definitely has, together doesn't have to be sitting like next to the, next to your child when they're having a tough time, because if their bubble is like, I need a bigger bubble right now because I'm processing a whole bunch, you got to respect that. Okay. And then it sounds like having quiet voices. The showing the yeah, thank you for telling me. And you are modeling the voice. I say my voice, your voice. Is my voice is modeling how I want them to feel with their voice. And when you talk quieter, like I'm doing kind of right now, you feel better. You feel more grounded when you talk a little slower and quieter. And I know that's hard when your blood pressure and your, like I've told you a million times, is there, but it definitely shows more control of yourself with it, so they can have more control of their own self because they're seeing how you can do it. And when you're around somebody, when you're losing your cool, like, come on, we're humans. I've lost my cool before. And when I'm around someone who's like, why are you doing that? Like, get it, your stuff together, that kind of stuff. I don't get cooler. When I get told, take a deep breath, I'm like, yeah, that worked not. Um, I have to be around someone who is going to show comfort, is going to make me feel like they're listening to me and they care for me. I have directly told my husband, when I'm losing my cool, I need you to model for me where I need to get there. Like, please, as much as you want to stop it, as much as you want to correct it, as much as you want to make me feel better, I need you to show me what it feels like and looks like to feel better. Let me talk it out. Let me blow my fuse for a little bit. Because if I feel like you're listening to me, I'm comforted. If I feel like you're there for me, I feel like you care for me. So this is human being stuff. Like at any and every age, this is really important to model the sincerity of the empathy. Now, this week, I created a somewhat helpful document. I want to pretty it up and make it a little bit more accessible, but I'm providing that for you today so you can have that, because it's important for you to have something to refer to as a placemat. Bear with me. I'm going to try to make it a little bit more appealing, but that's my own judgment and my standard, I guess, that I hold for myself for you. But all the languaging to be able to really hear yourself say these things is provided for you. And so I want you to explore those questions, because the questioning will help guide you be able to have the right energy and have the right language to be able to demonstrate what sincere empathy is. Okay. So next, this is where the idea of connection before correction, okay? It's got a 4-step process here. And this comes from Ross Greene. And Ross Greene is another amazing resource. I have his book. Oh my gosh. Do I have it right here? I'm going to be, this book, this is my center. See this? This is, welcome to my corner. Always books on behaviors. This, The Explosive Child. This is phenomenal. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be referencing a lot of his work and our stuff, but Dr. Ross Greene here has a great approach to, this is just amazing. So this comes from his guidance of how to have no drama in the connection cycle. So you want to help your child feel felt, heard, cared about, listened to. Okay. So these are the basic steps to that. Communicate. And by communication, this is nonverbal communication. Go to your child's eye level, give a comforting touch, nod your head, or give an empathetic look. And you guys know what an empathetical look is, okay? And this might be a shifting in energy and interaction with your child, because you may be used to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And if that's true, this is going to be a growing process for you as well. But I know you're going to be a little uncomfortable, but embrace the uncomfortable to be more comfortable with this process, because you're going to see results. Validating and acknowledging that that they're experiencing challenging behavior. I notice this is hard for you. I want to understand how I can help you, and support you, that kind of stuff. So validate the fact that they are going through something challenging. This is where it gets challenging, is to stop talking and to listen. And this is that shift from traditional to more research-based now. is that there needs to be some co-regulation, and using less words will allow for the communication and resolution to be long-term and meaningful. So when you're asking questions, it's to seek to show that you're seeking to understand, but they're doing the talking, not you. You want to try to engage with them. And even though they're trying to reconnect to their rational part of their brain, this is one way that you can ask questions to allow them to think it through and to be able to talk it out. But you're listening. Your job is to listen. And this is a skill that is so important. And I've learned to apply this in many arenas, and that is to reflect what you hear. This shows active listening, and this shows that you are paraphrasing. And if you get it wrong, like if you're like, it sounds like you are having a tough time, da 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 da, and you're feeling da 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 about something, then they will correct you if you're wrong. They will be like, no, 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 I'm not feeling that. And you go, oh, thank you for that clarification. This is a beautiful example of synergizing. This is you seeking to understand with your child. And this to me is what has helped me be able to understand my child deeper and better so I can better co-regulate and know the words to say with her. So just saying, this is an important step for this. Okay. So our next steps this week, this is your goal for this week. We're going to use the template that I have. And if I can exit out of the screen here in just a moment, I'll show this to you so you know what I'm talking about. But these are your choices. You can practice those sincere empathy phrases and questions to lean in and listen. Again, talk less, listen more. And also, or attune to your energy and response. See if you need to say, hey, I need a 2-minute break so I can be my best self and being able to better respond to your challenging behavior. That's okay. That's not saying, hey, you're too much, I can't handle you. It's like, hey, I'm noticing that I'm not giving you my best self, and so I need to take a break to do that. I actually had this conversation with Bella last week because I was fed up. I will not go into the story of why, but I was at the point of just like, I am so frustrated. I feel like I need to have like, I need a punching bag to punch because I just had something challenging that came about for me that was not easy. And I came to her and I said, hey, I am frustrated with this situation right now, and I love you too much to take this out on you. I need a 5-minute just time to myself so I can give you my best self. Those are the kind of the attunements to your energy that before it becomes a taken out on, you're taking it out on the child or someone that you love, is to say, hey, I'm going through this. I need to do this so I can be a better self. Those are kind of the energy attunements that are really important because, again, validating the fact that you're a human being, okay? And accepting the fact that you don't have to be 100% of the time. And if you expect yourself to be 100% of the time, it's going to be exhausting for you. And you're not going to be able to be your true self. And I want you to be okay with your true self. Okay. So those are your choices for this week. I am going to see if I can exit. Let's see how we can do this. X is right there. Hit that button. And then I'm going to, I think I kept it up on my screen here. There it is. This is my quick do of our sincere empathy sentence stem pass out sheet. And I have already had this uploading. It's ready to be uploaded here in just a moment, if not already, onto our guide for this week. And so my intention is just to make this a little bit more formatted, but it's kind of fun, right? But I'm just going to make sure that I just might do a draft 2 for you because my heart is definitely invested in this. But I want to bring you down to, or I want to show you that the purpose when you're gathering more information. Here's some question you can ask. Here can clarify understanding. Here's some things that you can state, some sentence stems and some questions. This is how you can show you're listening and paying attention. See what I'm saying? But this is the reminder here. Your tone of voice matters. Being authentic can be measured. Your child can read your authenticity. It's okay for you to take a break and let them feel their feels. That's just my reminders for this, to really have that relationship connection so they feel heard, they're connected to you, they feel like you are giving them your attention, and they have some control over their voice and their contribution to the conversation. So that's what I have for you as a resource this week. I will interact with you, of course, individually to continue our goal setting and what the look fors are, our success criteria that we can continue to grow with. And we're going to grow this week, and relationship is going to get stronger, and you're going to feel better about yourself, and you're going to love spending time with your kids. That's your goal for this week. And so, with this, I send you off on our second overview, and I am just incredibly grateful for your collaboration, connection, and conversation. So, may your Sunday continue to be uplifting and enriching for you, and I really look forward to continuing our connection. So, thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. All right, I'll talk with you soon.